Welcome to the channel PK 2023. Hope everyone has a good time watching our videos. Who will win this thrilling title race? Arsenal have injuries piling up but can now focus solely on the Premier League, while Manchester City have a fully fit squad but face a jam-packed schedule. Arsenal take an 8-point lead in the Premier League race into the international break, but Manchester City will not let them rest easy as the campaign unfolds. But who will emerge victorious from the race to clinch England's top-flight title for the 2022-23 season? Will Arsenal win their first title since the 2003-04 Invincibles? Or can Manchester City reclaim the trophy for a fifth time under Pep Guardiola? Sportsmail's Daniel Matthews, assessing Arsenal, and Jack Gohan, looking at Manchester City, break down where this season's Premier League will be won and lost. Arsenal, time and again this season, Arsenal have hit a crossroads and the same fear has surfaced. This is when it all unravels. Time and again, Mikel Arteta's side have come through unbowed, if not unscathed. So they should either run in with a healthier blend of caution and confidence. Trips to Liverpool, Manchester City, West Ham and Newcastle await. So do home games against Chelsea and Brighton. It promises to be another stern test of mental strength. They have not won a league game at Anfield since 2012. The Etihad has been a graveyard. Defeat at St James Park last season cost Arteta's side a Champions League place. They will have to exorcise demons, but scaling psychological barriers has become a habit this season. They won at Tottenham's new ground for the first time, beat Liverpool after a run of only one league win in 14, and avenged damaging defeats at Brentford and Crystal Palace. They must continue in this vein. Manchester City. The biggest issue facing Manchester City is the number of games that have to be wedged into the next 8 weeks. 11 in the league, with 2 of those, Brighton and West Ham, still not scheduled. Add in FA Cup semi-final against Sheffield United and a potential two-legged Champions League semi-final and it will be hectic. Fighting on 3 fronts could put City at a disadvantage against Arsenal, who only have eyes on the title. That said, the running could be worse. The 3 toughest games on paper are all at the Etihad, where City have only failed to score more than once 3 times this season. The major obstacle appears to be the trip to Roberto De Zerbi's high-flying Brighton, which is up in the air and could fall during the first midweek of May. It is messy and there will be no respite. But City have in the past crashed out of cups while prevailing in the league. Injuries. Arsenal. Last week, Erik ten Hag poked the hornet's nest when he said of Arsenal, all the time their squad is totally available. Well, no manager has made fewer changes to his starting side this season than Arteta. Over the first 21 matches of this campaign, in fact, Arteta's tally of 14 changes was the fewest by any Premier League boss since 2008-09. But those numbers cloud the truth. We had Emil Smith Rowe out for 4 months, Gabriel Jesus for 4 months, Thomas Partey for a month and a half, Alex Zinchenko for 2.5 months, Edin Ketia for a month and a half, Arteta said last week. We have had quite a lot of injuries already, but we've dealt with it. They have coped brilliantly, in fact. Especially without attacking linchpin, Jesus. But trouble is brewing again. William Saliba has a back problem. Takahiro Tomiyasu is out with a serious knee injury, leaving Arteta with only one right back, Ben White. It is a thin squad, at least compared to City. Manchester City, as they departed for the international break, Guardiola's message to his players could not have been clearer: follow the fitness programs designed for you and return sharp. Erling Haaland, for example, has City's sports therapist Mario Profundi with him in the Norway camp to keep an eye on his progress. City have no injuries, a helpful situation although John Stones, Ruben Dias, Kyle Walker, Aymeric Laporte and Phil Foden have all missed parts of the season, with defense proving an issue at times. Guardiola needs all of those players fit because he insists on a small squad. City have 16 senior outfield pros on their books, with the emergence of teenager Rico Lewis a boost. Luck. Arsenal, stitched into every title-winning campaign is a thread of good fortune. Arsenal fans will point to Ivan Toney's equalizer for Brentford, wrongly allowed by VAR, as evidence that they have been forced to swim against the tide at times. Or Gabriel Martinelli's disallowed goal at Old Trafford, which was later ruled to be another VAR error. But a lot has gone their way. Casemiro was banned for the United match. João Paulinho missed Arsenal's visit to Fulham. James Maddison missed their trip to Leicester. It is said that luck evens itself out over a campaign. Over a 10-game shootout, however, a few slivers of bad fortune could prove costly. For all the scouting and analysis, football is a sport where randomness plays a role. Manchester City, will City end up cursing the controversial Bruno Fernandes equaliser at Old Trafford in January? Whether you come down on Marcus Rashford being offside or not, it was a huge moment and one City were seething about. But then, Liverpool fans will remember the poor call in City's tense win at Everton last season, when Rodri handled it 1-0. No penalty, City clinched the league by a point. Guardiola feels they have been lucky a few times. Not least in the 4-2 win against Tottenham, when they were 2 down before fighting back in the second half. The 2-0 win over Newcastle this month received a similar appraisal. Know-how? Arsenal, now is, in my opinion, the best part of the season, Gabriel Jesus said after victory over Palace. When you have deciding games, big games, away and at home. Now is the time we have to play the same, don't change, be together. Now is precisely the time for which he and Alexander Zinchenko were signed, too. They bring vital experience. Aaron Ramsdale recently admitted that some of Arsenal's players had adopted the mindset of a mid-table team, because not a lot of us have been here before and we don't really know how to handle it. The likes of Jesus and Zinchenko, by contrast, have developed the standards, habits and know-how of winners. Arteta knew how vital that would be. Jesus was made a vice-captain shortly after arriving from City. Zinchenko turned up and told his teammates to dream bigger. They have helped alter the psyche. This run-in will be the stiffest test of the shift. Manchester City, this is where City have the edge. Guardiola shies away from the idea that experience in tight tussles can prove the difference, but that might be coyness. Despite falling 8 points behind with a game in hand, there is no panic and that must stem from a quiet confidence. Muscle memory can play a part. The long winning runs of seasons gone by will not be far from their thoughts. Last season, the 12 consecutive victories from November to mid-January kept them in the hunt with Liverpool. During the incredible climax to the 2018-19 campaign, City won their last 14 matches to Pep Jurgen Klopp's side by a point. Many of those players are still around: Ederson, Stones, Walker, Kevin De Bruyne, Ilkay Gundogan, Foden, Bernardo Silva, Laporte. They know what it takes to build momentum at the right time and, but for an absurd number of missed chances in the 1-1 draw at Forest last month, City would be coming back from this international break having won their last 6. As it was, they gifted Forest an equaliser the day. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe channel, comment and sharing our videos.